Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reyburn School. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about mini layouts and what they are. I started doing mini layouts when I first started my career, the first couple of years, because I was expected to work alongside co-workers who had 20 and 30 years of experience. Some were even teaching at the time. So I would ask the designer to give me a day to sleep on the design. And what I do is I take the design home and I'd figure out a way that I was going to pattern make it. So was I going to start with a block? Was I going to drape it? Was I going to drape it and then digitize the block into the computer and build it? How was I going to do it? So by the time I got into work the next day, I knew the method that I was going to use to make this pattern. So let's start off with a pant. You see the pant? Actually, let's start with the skirt. You see the skirt? This will be your first day. Start off with the skirt, which is the foundation of I want to say pattern making. It's the beginning. If you have experience, you'll move very quickly through it, and you'll have a lot of aha moments, and you will establish a base. It teaches you about the plumb lines, about what a dart is. This is your center back here, and this is your center front. I usually do the center front on a fold, right? There's different shaping in the front than there is a back. Just look at someone's front and look at their back. Their back usually has more curve unless they have a really flat back and a really protruding stomach. Yeah, so working with custom, you actually look at the body, measure the body, and then translate that into a pattern form. So what I would do is I take these pieces and I figure out, okay, so how am I going to start this, and how much volume, and where am I going to put these darts, and how am I going to do this, or should I just drape it on the mannequin and I figure it out. And so I do that with my students. Students, first day, they get a pattern maker's workbook. That's what this is. It has your foundation on the back. The foundation of pattern making includes a top, a skirt, which is the bottom, sleeve, and then the pant. That's going to give you a foundation of the body, because if you think about it, the body has a torso, you have two arms, you have two legs that are connected to hips. The hands are considered gloves, the feet are considered shoes, and the hat is considered head. So when you're talking about apparel, this is your foundation. So if you want to build a pattern replica of someone's body in a pattern form, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can decide what that's going to be. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be your client? Who is your client? Is your client a plus size? Is your client a petite? Is your client a toddler? What and who is your client, and how are they shaped, right? And then your client is not just one shape. You have sizing. Let's say you're doing a men's sizing. We know that grown men sizes usually start like 38, and then 40, 42, 44, 46. You can find a 36. Sometimes you can find a 32. It's very hard to find something smaller than that unless you want custom. But it really depends on what you're working with. So the students get this, right? And on the inside, the first day, they're going to cut their own skirt, right? Because we're going to use this as a sloper. And a sloper is not a garment. A sloper is a representation of your body that you're using without seam allowance, right? That's what a sloper is. Now, a block is usually a garment made from a sloper that has seam allowance. That is a basic garment that you can start with, right? Let's say I do a lot of 5-pocket pants, or pants with pleats, or I do a lot of t-shirt with women with little darts on the side like that. I might want to build a block to use that so that my fit is built into the block, so that when I'm building the pattern, I have a guideline. It's not my boss, but it's my guideline. So also in your book, I'm going to put this around for you. This is a little workout sheet we'll be working on. And you can duplicate those. You just can't sell them. So you have a pattern maker's tools. You have your materials list. And as you move through, the first thing we do is we trace the skirt and we align the hip so that you understand how things align and how this is your center front, this is your center back. We're working on half the body because the body is symmetrical. Got it. Then we're moving right on in to measurements. I go right into measuring the body, taking proper measurements, how to do that. I use my mannequin here, but I use measuring elastics because they tend to, I put them on the body because I can measure from elastic to elastic. They're very convenient. I just made these up. I've never seen anyone else who had these. But yeah, so I think the second day we make measuring elastics. I bring the sewing machine and cut off some elastic, and everyone makes their own measuring elastics. So those are, I think they're important. I like to have at least three of them, right? So we measure, and then those measurements are translated into a draft that we use to make your first skirt. And your first your first skirt is going to be a simple straight skirt, right? And with a zipper. No tricks, no gimmicks. I also show you how to do a vent in the back, a classic vent. And then the difference between a vent and a vent and a slit, right? So I hope that wasn't too confusing. It was nice talking to you, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Ciao.